The last thing Arya Vale remembered before the darkness was the sky breaking apart. It had been a clear afternoon in New Avalon, Earth's most advanced coastal city. Skyscrapers of glass and solar mesh shimmered under the sun. Delivery drones zipped between towers. Autonomous transports hummed through magnetic lanes. Then the alien probe fell from orbit. It wasn't an invasion. It wasn't a declaration of war. It was debris. A relic from a long-dead alien civilization, drifting silently for centuries before Earth's gravity pulled it down like fate collecting a debt. The object struck the upper levels of a transit tower just as Arya's school shuttle passed beneath it. There was light, heat, a sound like the sky tearing open. Then nothing. Year 1. When she woke up, the world had become horizontal. White ceiling tiles. Sterile lights. The faint scent of antiseptic. Her mother was holding her hand. Her father looked like he hadn't slept in days. The doctors spoke gently, but their words felt sharp. Severe spinal trauma. Extensive neural damage. Permanent paralysis below the waist. Arya was 16. She tried to move her legs. Nothing. She tried again. Still nothing. Her mind screamed commands her body refused to obey. That was the beginning of the longest decade of her life. The long stillness. The world moved on quickly. The alien debris turned out to be more than scrap metal. Inside its fractured core were fragments of advanced materials, alloys that defied physics, processors that functioned without visible circuitry. Nations raced to reverse engineer it. New Avalon became the center of technological rebirth. Within 5 years, Earth's prosthetics industry had advanced further than it had in the previous 50. But Arya couldn't use any of it. Her damage wasn't muscular. It was neural. The signal from her brain simply stopped at her lower spine, like a bridge destroyed in a storm. For the first few years, she fought. Physical therapy, neural stimulation trials, experimental nanite injections. Nothing restored the connection. Friends visited less often as life pulled them forward. University, careers, relationships. Arya learned to smile in photographs. She learned how to say, "I'm fine," when she wasn't. She learned to navigate the city in a sleek magnetic wheelchair equipped with AI assistance. She learned independence. But at night, when the city lights shimmered beyond her apartment window, she would rest her hands on her legs and whisper, "Just once. Just once." They never answered. Year 10. The message arrived on a rainy morning. Dr. Cale Rice requested your presence at the Avalon Neural Institute. She almost deleted it. She had heard promises before, but something in the wording caught her attention. Full spinal bypass integration candidate. Not repair. Bypass. Curiosity stirred where hope had once lived and burned out. The Avalon Neural Institute stood like a shard of silver against the skyline, a monument to what humanity had built from alien wreckage. Dr. Cale Rice met her in a laboratory filled with floating holographic displays and softly humming machinery. He was younger than she expected. Mid-30s. Focused eyes. Hands stained faintly with conductive gel. "I've reviewed your scans," he said without preamble. "Your spinal cord cannot be repaired." She nodded. She'd made peace with that sentence years ago. "But we don't need to repair it." That was new. He activated a hologram. A digital model of a human spine appeared, damaged at the thoracic region. Then another image overlaid it, a lattice of luminous filaments wrapping around the injury. "This," he said, "is a quantum neurobridge." She raised an eyebrow. "That sounds expensive." "It is." The filaments shimmered. "We can't regrow your nerves, but we can intercept the neural signals from your brain before they reach the damaged area, translate them through an external processor, and send them directly into advanced prosthetic limbs." She stared at the hologram. You're saying my legs wouldn't reconnect to my spine? Correct. They'd connect to my brain. Exactly. Silence filled the lab. She had imagined walking again 1,000 times. But this was different. This wasn't healing. This was evolution. What's the risk? She asked quietly. Kale didn't hesitate. Signal rejection. Neural overload. System collapse. And best case scenario? You stand. The surgery. The procedure took 14 hours. Microscopic neural interceptors were implanted along her upper spinal cord. A wafer-thin processor, derived from alien crystal matrices, was embedded near her collarbone. Her biological legs were surgically removed below mid-thigh. In their place, they attached nothing. Not yet. The prosthetics would come later. When she woke up, phantom sensations danced where her legs once were. Not pain. Absence. Kale stood beside her bed. The interface is stable, he said. That's more than we hoped for. 3 days later, they brought in the prosthetics. They weren't metallic monstrosities. They were sleek, elegant, crafted from adaptive nanoalloy that mimicked the flow of muscle beneath synthetic skin. Subtle lines of light traced their contours. They'll feel different, Kale warned. They're not supposed to feel the same, she replied. The moment came in the rehabilitation chamber. Suspension cables supported her torso. Technicians monitored brainwave patterns on floating screens. Aria, Kale said gently, think about moving your right leg. Her heart pounded. For 10 years, that thought had led nowhere. She closed her eyes. She imagined standing in the rain as a child, running along the shoreline. She sent the command, move. A flicker. Then, the prosthetic foot twitched. Her breath caught. Signal received. A technician whispered. Again, Kale said. She focused harder. The right leg lifted. The room erupted in quiet gasps. Tears streamed down her face. For the first time in 10 years, she felt vertical tension, weight shifting, balance adjusting. Her body wasn't the same, but it responded. Lower it, Kale instructed softly. She did. Then she moved the left, and for a single trembling second, she stood, learning to walk again. Walking was not automatic. Her brain had to relearn how to coordinate signals through the processor. The prosthetics reacted faster than biological limbs ever could. They amplified intention. If she thought about stepping forward too forcefully, the leg would lurch. She fell. Often. But every fall ended with laughter instead of despair. Weeks turned into months. The quantum neurobridge adapted to her neural patterns. The prosthetics synchronized seamlessly. She didn't just regain mobility. She gained enhancements. Her reaction time improved. Her stride became longer, stronger. She could run faster than she ever had before the accident. One evening, standing alone in the empty rehab chamber, she stared at her reflection. Synthetic legs. Biological heart. Alien-derived processor. I'm not who I was, she whispered. Kale, leaning against the doorway, replied softly, No, you're more. The setback. Just as news of her progress began circulating through medical circles, the malfunction happened. During a routine city walk, her right leg froze mid-step. Then both shut down. She collapsed onto the pavement. Panic surged as diagnostics flashed red across her internal interface. Signal desynchronization. Neural feedback spike. System overload imminent. Kale arrived within minutes.